Good evening and thank you for tuning in to Halton News right here on your TV. I'm Jessica Kading. Taking a look at our COVID-19 numbers now, we're at 221 active cases in Halton, which is 7 more than were reported on Friday. 87 of those affected are in Burlington, 75 in Oakville, 47 in Milton, and 12 in Halton Hills. There are 6 people currently in hospital and no additional deaths to report since our last update. But Halton Region's Medical Officer of Health has issued a new statement for our community today. She warns that we need to take collective action now in order to prevent a much worse scenario and stricter measures in the future. Dr. Hamida Magani says that it's out of concern for our community that she is strongly recommending that you limit your close contact and interaction with those that live outside of your household. This includes at restaurants and other social gatherings. Limit your activities as much as possible while still attending work or school. She recommended team sports be limited to training only with proper physical distancing in place and encourages you to find other ways to be active while suspending all indoor fitness classes. These are recommendations, not a provincial order. For more information and a look at the complete letter of advice, please visit halton.ca/COVID-19. Meanwhile, the Government of Ontario has put Halton under a microscope. With the increase in cases of COVID-19, there's a possibility that we may join other regions in a modified stage 2. In today's medical update, we asked Ontario's Associate Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Barbara Yaffe, if there's a specific threshold they're looking for before deciding to go ahead with a modified stage 2.
There is no specific number or threshold at which we say, okay, it's over that threshold, we definitely move it to modified stage 2. The public health measures table, which has 6 different medical officers of health and scientific input from Public Health Ontario, laboratories and so on, looks at data for each health unit, including the trend in cases per 100,000 population, the percentage positivity in the lab reports, the capacity of the local public health unit to do case and contact follow-up, and also the capacity of the local health system, the hospitals, ICU beds, hospital beds, and so on. So they look at a bunch of those factors together, and they then make a recommendation that eventually has to be approved by the government. So at this point, I know that Halton is one of the areas being very closely watched, and we'll wait to see what's recommended.
When the province first announced that select pharmacies would be offering COVID-19 testing to asymptomatic individuals, there were not any participating pharmacies in Halton, but that has since changed. There are now 3 pharmacies in Oakville offering the service, again only for individuals without COVID-19 symptoms. These are Shoppers Drug Mart at 2501 3rd Line. They are doing so, as well as the one at Kerr and Spears, and the Shoppers Drug Mart at Dundas and Prince Michael. An 81-year-old Burlington man has been pronounced dead after being struck by his car this morning. It was around 7 a.m. that the man was crossing Maple Avenue between Augustus Drive and Maple Crossing Boulevard when he was struck by a Honda Civic. The driver remained on scene and is cooperating. Any witnesses or those with information are asked to contact police at 905-825-4747. Sustainable Milton is applauding the federal government in their decision to ban single-use plastics by the end of next year. Melissa Candelaria reports.
Plastic bags and 5 other single-use plastics will be a thing of the past. Sustainable Milton is applauding the federal government on its decision to ban these products by the end of 2021. Board Director Efreen Gao says it's a step in the right direction.
It's creating positive conversations on why plastic is so detrimental to our environment and why we should be refusing and reducing the amount of consumption we have in our daily lives. And the fact that it's eliminating 6 very big single-use plastics in our current environment.
So besides these plastic bags, the ban also includes straws, stir sticks, 6-pack rings, plastic cutlery, and takeout food containers made from hard-to-recycle plastic. Now, Milton MP Adam Van Couverden says it's a perfect example of a promise made and a promise kept.
It's an important step forward to protecting our lakes and our rivers, our shores, and frankly us, because plastics are everywhere now. You know, there's microbeads inside of people like you and I, and you know, there's just too many examples of large mammals and fish and birds, you know, finding that the reason they died, and you find them on the beach. I've spent a lot of time in the water on my life, so you know, it's just all too common.
This new ban is going to help in decreasing the amount of plastic waste Sustainable Milton sees during cleanup efforts, but Gauss says it won't cover everything.
We had well over 800 plastic bags collected over a span of 3 cleanups, and plastic drink containers and straws. Those are actually a very big group, which was well over 700. So while it did tackle half of what we're finding, there is that other big half of the plastic water bottles, which we find so many of in our community. And there's also the food wrappers as well, which is well over 700 again. So while it is tackling very specific waste that we are finding, it's not tackling all.
And although Gauss says it's a step in the right direction, more needs to be done on a municipal level.
Considering other cities like London and Oshawa, they've actually banned the bottled water consumption so that in their facilities they no longer sell this. So things like this could actually be implemented in municipalities across Canada, and that would be another step that we would really require to get to a more sustainable future.
Gauss also says this ban is a great stepping stone for you and I to take a look at what we're doing to make more sustainable choices, and of course to remember the 5 R's: refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
The Milton Chamber of Commerce is warning those who have received an email from sales@miltonchamber.ca not to open the attached zip file. The email account has been hacked. Their IT consultant has shut down the account and is working to correct the issue and put updated safeguards in place. Oakville's Mayor Rob Burton will be live streaming tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. with his State of the Town address. You can watch this virtually on the town's website, oakville.ca. Oakville Terrestrial Energy will be taking a critical step forward towards commercializing their cutting-edge SMR technology. This comes after a $20 million investment was announced by the federal government. The idea is that this will create significant environmental and economic benefits for Canada, as well as over 1,000 jobs nationally. Everyone loves a hero. Tanya Halder was inspired by heroes to use her public relations background to help highlight their selfless work, but they may not be the heroes you expect.
Oakville photographer Tanya Halder started her career in public relations. The industry lost its luster for her, and she decided to change direction.
It was definitely a blessing that I met some incredible people in my life. And just as a passing, fleeting, a very, very fleeting thought, I was like, oh my gosh, the amount of money that goes into PR campaigns and PR agencies and ad agencies, all of which I had been a part of. I was like, my gosh, these phenomenal people that I also meet, good people, people who are giving back to the community. Imagine if there was as much spent into having PR for these guys.
That's when HPR Heroes was born. In 2016, she began telling the inspirational stories of people from all around the world.
I interview people who have been through extreme tragedies in life, whether they're circumstantial, whether they're born with some sort of a physical or mental disability, whether they've made bad choices in life and have had to suffer consequences for it. They don't stop at that. They don't let that dictate their lives going forward. They instead rise up to the situation, and not only, they also, because they've learned and understood and dealt with pain, they understand that so much better that they know what the other person is feeling. And they know there is going to be no one to help them. They then go to them and be the hero to those guys.
For example, Hyam Baker lost both her legs in her teens during a bombing in Beirut.
Now that this is a society which places too much importance on girls who are physically disabled, there is no hope for you. No one's going to marry you. You're not going to have a second chance at love. You're not going to be financially independent. That's it for you. You basically sit in a wheelchair, and that is it. There is just no way of coming out of it. She said enough is enough. She then went on to start her own school, and she teaches till today, and these are not just any kind of schools, she gives top-notch education to other people who have been affected by bombings, and again, it's so common there, it's just ridiculous to even say that, people who are just affected by bombings, but there are so many women there who had given up on any kind of hope, and they're now going out and they don't care.
Recently, Halder started creating videos to bring her passion project to a wider audience. Her first subject was a local Mississauga man.
He had made a poor decision. He was drinking and driving. And it's very easy for us to say, oh, you deserve all the pain that you have. I've interviewed him. He is now going, and he was paralyzed for many, many, many years. He had suffered for the poor choices that he had made. He cannot ever get off his wheelchair ever again. He's a young guy. He was a young kid when he went out with his buddies and he was drinking, and he is now going from school to school to school to school, telling kids, don't be mean. We think we're indispensable when we're 17. We think, oh, nothing can happen to us.
She's told almost 30 inspirational stories so far. She says when she looks at mainstream media covering conflict and chaos, she wants to bring more attention to the good in people.
Really hope that through channels like yours, people watch this. If even one person or 2 people or 10 people out there watch it and say, you know what, let's go out and help these guys. Let's see what their video. I'm a happy person. I think, this is what PR or whatever experience I've had in my life, this is what I want to use it for. These are the people I want. I want my kids, Ariana and Neil, to be looking up to these people as their idols.
To see more uplifting stories, go to tanyahalder.com or check out HPR Heroes on Facebook. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
We do need to take a short break now, but we'll be back with some Halloween advice, as well as a look to some local business owners and how COVID-19 has affected them. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. David Williams, issued a statement about Halloween regarding trick-or-treating this year. For the regions that are in stage 3, like Halton is currently, trick-or-treating will be allowed, but there are some recommendations and precautions to follow. As usual, you should stay home and away from others if you're not feeling well. For those of you who decide to trick-or-treat, you are advised to do so only with members of your own household and only outside. Both trick-or-treaters and those handing out candy should wear a face covering. A costume mask is not an alternative and is not recommended on top of a mask, as it may be hard to breathe. If you're waiting in line, stay 6 feet apart, use hand sanitizer, and wash often. Consider using tongs to hand out treats. For the full statement, please visit news.ontario.ca. And now Burlington MPP Jane McKenna submitted a video highlighting some local business owners speaking to the impact of COVID-19 and the importance of everyone following public health restrictions to help keep people's lives and livelihoods safe.
Hi, I'm Jane McKenna, MPP for Burlington. Peel, Toronto, Ottawa, and now York Region are all facing restrictions due to rising cases of COVID-19. None of us want to see additional restrictions here in Burlington that will impact people's lives and livelihoods. Here's some of what I've heard from local businesses.
We've been doing everything the government has been asking us to stay safe, to protect our staff, our employees, and then our customers also. But it takes much more than that. We can do all we can here at the restaurant, but if you're to leave here afterwards and neglect all the rules and regulations, this will never end. It'll get worse and worse. Unfortunately, this is going to be around for a long time, and we have to do our part at work, at home, in our private lives to help stop the spread. More restriction will have a devastating result to not only us as owners, our staff, a lot of employees that work here. It's a domino effect.
We've been operating here since 1991, going on 29, 30 years. We've done our part basically by following all the protocols. On behalf of QBs and our staff, we're asking everybody else to also follow protocol so we can get back to some sort of normalcy. The numbers are going up, and basically what's happening is it's going to create another shutdown. And unfortunately, it's not just restaurants, it's all small businesses, and it's affecting not just the small business, it's affecting the employees.
COVID, I think, in the last 5 or 6 months, we've really gone through a learning curve. Having that shutdown before really affected us sales-wise. This is a nickel and dime business, like all are, but we really thrive and need the support of the community and dining tables. We're doing everything we can to keep this in check, and it's really scary to see the cases continue to climb. We're asking the community to help, the support we need, because I've got a ton of staff members just getting back off serve, and we're just getting into the swing of things, and systems are back up, and we got a great new menu to roll out, and all of that will be on hold if we have to roll back and get back to phase 2 again.
We all have a part to play. Wear a mask, wash your hands regularly, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and limit non-essential trips. Own what you're doing. Do your part to stop the spread.
During BDC Small Business Week, the Oakville Chamber of Commerce is pleased to announce the winners of the Stronger Together Business Resiliency Awards. We'll be back to that after our weather forecast. Taking a look now, you can see we will reach a high of 11 degrees tomorrow afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds. Then comes the rain, or the possibility of it. That's only a 30% chance of rain showers on both Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday will be the warmer of the 2 days. Cloud cover expected until Friday. That sunshine will make an appearance between the clouds, up to 21 degrees on Friday. Enjoy that if you can, because Saturday will only reach a high of 9 degrees in the afternoon. During BDC Small Business Week, the Oakville Chamber of Commerce is pleased to announce the winners of the Stronger Together Business Resiliency Awards. Every day this week, the Oakville Chamber will showcase one of 5 award recipients who demonstrated innovation, compassion, and determination during the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, they're thrilled to announce the first recipient, Toraguchi Martial Arts. It's a full-service karate school that caters to both children and adults and offers a breadth of martial arts programming, specializing in Japanese karate, located in downtown Oakville on Church Street. Here's how they proved to be resilient during COVID-19.
COVID-19 impacted business. As a non-essential business, we were forced to shut down right away. We laid off our staff and we had to reinvent our business operations.
We proved resilient by being able to completely change our program and our curriculum from in-person to online in a matter of 24 hours. We were resilient by continuing to offer programming such as Kids Camp, and we just never quit. We went so far as to have a check-in or a video conference, a 15-minute video conference with every single family in the dojo. And at that time, even though we lost about 100 students, there were still 200 families that we needed to connect with. And I did a video conference with every single family, just to check in, see how they're doing, making sure that they're safe and doing well. And that bridged a lot of community between us and the families. And it meant a lot to us to be able to connect like that. We learned that we can provide our programming across multiple platforms. We have branded virtualsensei.com as our online programming. We have national students. Over the course of the pandemic, we had students from Montreal even zooming in for classes. COVID forced us to say, okay, what really works, and we have been able to focus on that. The online, the programming, the video curriculum for our students, all of that has been actually very good for us, although it has been very challenging. We have been very fortunate to be able to continue what we love.
And now a look to how some of Halton's top companies performed on the markets today. Stay with us. We'll be back with the latest from the Burlington Food Bank and a look to some unique local events as well. We'll be right back. You're watching Halton News. I'm Jessica Kading, and we have Robin Bailey up now with the latest from the Burlington Food Bank.
Bailey, the Executive Director of the Burlington Food Bank, and we just wanted to thank Kraft Heinz Pantry Day that took place on Friday. If you purchased a product that day, you actually supported Food Banks Canada. So thank you so much for doing that. We also wanted to thank the Women's Giving Network and Burlington Together for promoting that on Facebook and letting people know about that program and how great it is. We probably won't see any of that product for quite a while, just because Kraft is making up to a $4 million donation through that. So just an incredible support for us all here in Canada. So thank you so much to Kraft Heinz for that. We also wanted to thank the various community groups that continue to do food drives for us, and wanted to let you know that if you're doing that, we have our top 10 most needed items. We update it regularly on our website. Just go to our website, burlingtonfoodbank.ca, and under the need, you'll see top 10 most needed items, and you'll see what we need the most right now. I think our number one item right now, which is really rare, is actually baked beans. So if you can head out, pick up some items for us, and drop them off at your local grocery store or one of the local fire halls, that would be great.
Are you in the market for a new designer handbag? Wouldn't it be nice if you could get that handbag of your choice and the money spent all goes to a charity in your own community? That's exactly what Handbags for Hospice is offering next Monday, October 28th. Join their online auction on Monday until 9 p.m. and bid on the bag of your choice, including brands like Coach, Kate Spade, and Fossil. All the proceeds will support the goal of providing access to palliative care for terminally ill people and their families in Milton and Halton Hills. Film.ca Cinemas in Oakville is offering a physically distanced trick-or-treat experience on Halloween Day between 12 and 5 p.m. Tickets are $7.50 per child aged 3 to 18, $2 for adults, and $2 for children 2 and under. You do need to buy a ticket ahead of time at film.ca, and do so soon because tickets are limited. You'll have a half-hour time slot and are encouraged to come in costume and wearing a mask. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Halton News. We'll be back tomorrow live at 5. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading.